What's up, guys? I'm Bainz.
Hey, I'm Teezio.
And we're going to talk about how we work on records together. So we actually first met, what was it, like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, when we were doing Slam and B.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. We were both recording together, and then we mixed it together as well.
Yep.
And it was cool. It was both our artists worked really differently, and it was just really interesting, you know, having that back and forth where, like, you know, we was trying to make them fit into the songs.
Definitely.
And our own styles meshing together.
Starting with the recording process, I would say.
Exactly, yeah.
With the templates to get, you know, and then one artist jumps in and the other one jumps out, and we ended up sort of defaulting with my template because it was a lot easier for you to deal with and a lead and an ad lib.
We pulled all of my buses into your template. And
right. Because my template already had like 100 tracks in it.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that was cool, man. And I feel like we've just grown like that, like just working on projects together, and like since then.
Yeah, we collab. I mean, we did that collab, and then we used Audiomovers to do the whole thing with the Zoom thing.
Yeah.
And then the second time we did it was actually recently, or the other time we did it was recently with Chris's album.
Yep, exactly.
With the song, what was it called? I don't remember. Chris does so many songs.
Wheels Fall Off. Yeah. Wheels Fall Off. Yeah.
So Wheels Fall Off came about because Chris did this record. And part of the subject matter was the thing that was happening with Thug. And when we got Lil Durk on it, I was like, yo, let me hit Bainz and be like, let's mix this together. You do Durk's vocal and I'll do Chris's stuff. And we kind of co-mixed it, and it was the first song on the album, which was dope because I feel like the first song always gets a lot of plays. And then most recently now, I got a call from Offset's A&R a few weeks ago, and they literally called me on a Monday and they were like, hey, can you mix 20 songs by Friday? And I was like, realistically, like, I might be able to, but realistically can't. I mean, there's so many notes and there's so many back and forth. So I called Bainz and I was like, hey, do you want to mix this project with me? Let's go half and half. You do 10, I do 10. And we ended up doing it. I mean, to be honest, the deadline got pushed so many times because it was Thursday and we were still missing files. So we weren't, you know what I mean? So it got pushed and we had extra time, but.
We're in crunch mode because we had to make this vinyl delivery. Like, the albums isn't out, but that vinyl delivery. That was the
biggest thing, is the vinyl delivery, because they need what, 3 months to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. If not more.
But the process though with Offset, I feel like was a lot more intense than it was when we were doing Slime and B.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was the time crunch, and part of it was we had Offset here at your studio.
Also, Slime and B those were our artists. Like, we'd recorded it, and they were like, "Go do your thing."
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't like
we knew exactly what to do, and we didn't have to go back to them and say, you know, like, you had Thug sounding right. Chris barely had any notes besides like turn up an ad lib.
Yeah,
you know.
And I think a lot of it was with this project was okay. We were getting other people's sessions that neither of us had worked on. We were getting it all together and all. But the way we worked, like, which was really cool, and I feel like that. We spoke going into the jump. I was like, okay, cool. We heard some of the demos, and we're like, this is the sound. This is what the sound is. And I think that initial conversation that we had was like, okay, this is what the sound is gonna sound like. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what you were like. I was like, this is what I usually do.
Right.
And you were like, okay, that might not work here. Let's try us both using the same
We had
thing.
like a mix of like some of my stuff and some of your stuff to make it work.
Exactly.
But at the same time, having to, because you got to think about it, like, not every record sounded the same.
Exactly.
So some stuff was recorded, had these plugins on it, and making Offset's voice sound this way, and then we had to sort of build on top of that in some cases, because taking that stuff off would have changed
too much
how the record sounded.
Changes
so
the
it was
dynamics.
like, at the same time as us trying to come up with something together, we still had the challenge of every record being different and having to adapt to it.
Yeah, which was cool, man. I think, like, even every time, like, I struggle, I'd be like, yo, tap in Audiomover's link here. Let's do and you're like, oh, try this.
I think that was in the beginning when we were sort of going back and forth, but then it got crazy because as soon as we got like 5, 6, 7 records done, it was like Offset wanted to come here and be here, and it wasn't like he would go. Like, no, this man, we were here 3 days.
We were like here
3 days straight.
Yeah.
On Zoom.
Yeah. We had a Zoom set up. We had Audiomovers going for the session, and any desk to control the screen, just so we could have visual thing as well. And like, it was good because every time, like, my computer would heat up, and I was like, it needs a break now, so we would do your sessions and stuff like that. And it was really cool, man. We had a Audiomovers link going at any time for any session. So he was hearing what we were doing here. I was hearing all of us were obviously hearing what he was doing there. But at the same time, we had a a phone in the car with the app running.
Oh my God.
And which was cool because he's comfortable in his car.
Yeah, yeah.
Then once he sat in the Tesla, he was like, oh, I like the Tesla.
That was a different level for us though, because I'd never thought, obviously you can do that, and I've done that too. I've sent a link out to my laptop that I left just because I needed to like fix something, whatever. But to think that we had the client in the car
while we're
running back and forth, I'm over there, like it was, and you're holding the laptop like in front of Offset, like I'm standing there.
Turn this up, nudge
and you're
this
just
here,
holding
nudge this
it, and
there.
I'm facing him, like it was crazy.
And like that's where a lot of the notes were oh, try nudging this, oh, let's try putting this ad to be,
that
oh,
was
let's
the thing.
add additional production.
The notes
and stuff
weren't regular notes.
They weren't mixed notes. They were but that's what we were creating a record together.
Right, exactly.
We were,
even down to the extra music, because it's like the deadline was Friday. The following Wednesday, we were still having new music added in. Like, have this guy play this and see if we can. Okay, let's put it here. Oh, it doesn't sound good there. Let's move it over here. And it was like we're in arrangement mode, even past the deadline.
Yeah, they were like, yo, and for the Cardi record, he was like, yo, could she come and cut? He was like, can I change these ad libs? And that's what, when you're in album mode, you're like, you know, no one's gonna say no. We're just mixing.
Definitely. But it was a lot outside of like if you just go and get your record mixed with a mixer. It was on a different level than that, because he's cutting a lead over while I'm over there working and doing the shit with J Rich in the car.
Exactly.
And then you're in here cutting Offset, and he's with Cardi. It's like, bro.
Yeah, it's a factory in production. That's what music looks like these days, though, man. The whole collaboration aspect. And that's what we've been talking about. Like there's so much work. And to run efficiently and like run like a well-oiled machine, you need to like have people, like-minded people. And like even from a personal standpoint, man, there were times when like, bro, you saw like I was getting stressed out. I was overheating, and you were like calming me down. And vice versa.
You get less stressed than I do. So when you got stressed, I was like, I need to figure out what was wrong with Bainz and make sure he's good before I get stressed, because I was just getting stressed like the whole time, because not being here was in the room. What made it a little more stressful, because I couldn't hear like certain communications.
I like when I get told something that's pretty crazy. Like it's a pretty crazy demand and request. And I'm like, because I'm facing them. I'm like, you know, okay, cool, yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, and you're like, wait, what just happened?
And I'm
he's the practical person when it comes. Like he's like, I was like, we need all this shit done by this night. And I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. And he's like, no, hang on a second. If it took us what 45 minutes to do one revision that time, or one this thing that time. He started adding up. There's 20 songs. There's this much.
I was like, if it takes a minimum 45 minutes, there's 20 songs. That's like 18. I don't know how many hours. Like,
I was like, we're not gonna be done by the morning. Like the math.
Because I'm thinking mathematically. Bainz is like, sure.
Yeah, that's sure. that's.
She's like, we're gonna finish by tonight, and he's like, yeah. And I was in the computer yelling, no, we're not gonna finish tonight. So
exactly.
So yeah, it was a great process, but we finished it, and to be honest, we might have to go back in on it too.
Yeah, but it's a good body of work. We're both very proud of it, and we got to, like, you know, it was a very stressful situation, but we got to hang out. And, like, you know, we anyway talk to each other every day.
Yeah, we definitely talk every day, once a day. This time it was just all day.
He was like, I can't wait to go back to talking to you just once a day. But yeah, man, it was cool. It was a cool experience, man.
Definitely, yeah. I'm glad we did it, but
I definitely think that like music is getting more and more collaborative. Like there's so many teams, so many different people. Like, you know, there was from his team there was J Rich and Max, who had done all the work leading up to it coming to us.
Right.
And then there's you and Ignacio, your team, Aration, me, my team, and all our teams working together. It really, you know, like music is getting more and more collaborative.
Definitely. It started a lot on the production, and I feel like now, especially with what me and you are doing, we're starting to bring it over to the engineering side of stuff.
It's because you couldn't do it a year ago. 2 years ago. You couldn't do it before you had technology like Audiomovers and stuff like that. And that's what, like, I was talking to them earlier, like, about how like we're always adapting, getting the newest plugin, getting new technology, like keeping on the forefront of technology. Atmos is the same thing. We've been, both of us have been.
We figured it out. Definitely, we figured it out for sure.
And yes, that's important, man. It was awesome working on it, doing it.
Definitely, that was an experience.